find this morning in the search?
Right here on 7th Street in the city of Chester. Right behind me is the Chester Creek. We're right off of what we call Overtown, or our downtown section of Chester.
Where does the search stand?
The search stands, as you can hear, the helicopters are above, so the Coast Guard is here. Our fire department will be putting boats in the water, and our police department is here to control any traffic.
Still an aggressive search?
Still an aggressive search, yes. We're getting out this morning. We're going to make every attempt that we can to get closure for the family by finding the young lady who is in the creek.
Is this still a search and rescue mission, or has this transitioned to a recovery mission?
I'm going to let you guys answer that one.
We're still in search and rescue mode, but obviously as the time goes on, it's going to transition. We're not going to really call it a recovery mission until about 24 hours. So we're in coordination with the U.S. Coast Guard. Even though we suspended rescue operations with the local level with the fire department, Coast Guard was out all night, continuing the search.
What are the challenges facing you this morning, and are the conditions a little bit easier to work in than what you were dealing with last night?
Conditions are much better. Obviously, we have sunlight. The flow of the creek has reduced. It's probably about 5 foot less in depth, and the current is a lot less. There's a lot less debris, but one of the biggest challenges is the cold.
How high was the water last night? Someone said it came up to where the grass is, that mud line. Is that accurate?
If you actually see that is accurate. Where the grass line is how high the water was last night.
Can you speak to the strategy of your personnel as they're going out? What's the approach?
So we're doing two things. We're going to have smaller boats that are going to be launched into the creek here. We're going to be from where the young female fell in to the mouth of the Delaware River. We're going to be searching the river embankments on both sides, with smaller boats, and then we have larger boats that are out in the Delaware River, and we're searching both the New Jersey side as well as the Pennsylvania side. And again, Coast Guard's overhead with helicopters. We're going to be deploying drones. Basically, every asset that we have at our disposal, we're going to be using.
Well, I know physically challenging, but it must be emotionally taxing for your crews too, no?
It is, but it's more emotionally challenging for the family, and our job is to make sure that we bring them whatever kind of peace we can.
Great, Mayor. The family says that there was no fencing down separating the playground area from the creek. I was speaking with one of your representatives earlier, and they said that that's something the city's working on. Can you talk about that? The fact that there's no fence there?
Yeah, there is a fence right outside the playground area, which is right above the hill that goes down. The condition of the fence, I'm going to have to put my eyes on it itself because things change on an almost daily basis. But from what I understand from the family is probably what you heard, there might be some areas of that fence that's compromised, and that's something we can't accept.
Can you talk about the impact to the city this has had? Such a devastating situation.
It is. Our city is, as the word gets around, it's still early. People are going to wake up to this news, and it's going to be devastating. We're a very, very, very close-knit community here in Chester. For those of you who are watching this, for those of you who are sending support, that just makes that group of people who are mournful even larger. The sorrow is huge, but what you're going to see in the next couple days is how Chester pulls together in terms of mutual aid. We're going to see the churches, we're going to see the neighbors, we're going to see all individuals in the city wrapping our arms around the family and friends, classmates of that beautiful little girl.
Was it a student here in Chester?
Not sure.
Okay.
How hopeful are you at this point that you'll find her alive, or that crews will find her alive?
Well, my hope is, the glass is half full. We're going to find her. We're hoping that she might have got caught up on, one of the banks before she hit the river. That's what we're looking for today. So my hope is very high until I'm told otherwise.
Commissioner, from this point around the bend where she fell into the creek all the way down to the mouth of the Delaware, that's the search area?
100%. And into the Delaware River itself.
Okay. And all of the banks along the way?
All the banks along the way.
Okay.
Sir, there's a firefighter who's over here who's using a device that's in the water. Could you tell me more about the device he's using?
I'm not too sure. One of the things that we have just recently acquired is an underwater drone. So that might be what's being deployed under the water as well.
Talk about that. What does that do?
The underwater drone, it's basically an underwater submersible vehicle. It's remote operated. It has a camera on it. It allows us to basically see underwater without us having to put divers in the water, which is anytime you put divers underwater, it's a dangerous situation. But this basically allows us to get visual eyes underwater to see what's going on as well before we put a diver in the water. But
let's speak to that a little bit. We've just received that.
We just received
got
it.
Training on it, and this is the first deployment, isn't it?
It is the first deployment. I want to say I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I want to say it was maybe back in February that we did the training on it. It's an underwater submersible. It was a $250,000 grant that was obtained through the police department. We received training on it. It's good up to, I think, like 3,000 feet. It's a remarkable device, a beautiful piece of equipment. But yeah, like I said, any and every asset that we have, we're going to deploy in order to find this young lady.
Are you hopeful, Commissioner?
I'm always hopeful. I am.
What's the visibility like in the water? Is it worse?
I can't comment to that. I don't know.
How much communication have you had with the family through this process?
I did talk to the family last night. It was around 11 p.m. I'm looking forward to knocking on their door and meeting them and face to face later today.